JSD Cool here, and welcome to another episode of Cool Craft Season 7. I had no idea what hotbar slot my fireworks were in, apparently. Anyway, in the last episode, I spent the whole time basically screwing around in the nether, working on nether tunnels. Surprisingly, I still managed to fill a nearly 20-minute video with content of me building tunnels and stuff in the nether. And it was relatively interesting. Granted, some of that time was definitely taken up by the good old sacrifice, which of course we're doing today as well, as we do every single episode. There's never a time when we don't provide sacrifice to, well, I still haven't figured out quite who I'm providing sacrifice to, but, why not? Let's just keep going with it. Alright then. Things look like they've... Oh. More variety next time. There's a knowledge book here. That's strange. I also don't know exactly what I would do for providing variety. I only know of, well, at least one thing. That being those CBI chocolate bars. But I guess let's see what this knowledge book contains. There's literally no information on it about what's inside of it. But, okay, maybe we do have a little bit of variety that we can add next time. Let's see, what did we get here? I presume it's some sort of food. Probably. Okay. Sugar-coated apple, which is 1 apple and 6 sugar. Sounds about right. Alright, I only had 4 apples, so it might be a tad bit of a problem that I don't have that many, but let's try making these, I guess. A sugar-coated apple that does in fact look like an apple with a bunch of sugar or nondescript white powder covering it. I'm not hungry right now, so I can't exactly eat one of these. Here, let me do something a tad bit reckless. Hopefully I don't kill myself with this. Okay, just barely survived. Come on, let me eat it. Let me eat it. Who wouldn't want to eat an apple that's just straight up covered in sugar? Okay, there's one hunger. Yum, num, 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 num. That did basically nothing. Okay, okay, I did see we did have that other recipe there, which I think it said it was in a furnace, so I assume we chuck this in a furnace and it will do something. It is, in fact, doing something. Candy apple, you say? Oh, and I still have a bit of hunger here, so let's see. What happens when I eat this? Okay, it actually does some stuff. Oh, we get a little bit of speed and regeneration. Not particularly much, though. Okay, okay. This is progress. I can work with this. I mean, no, I can't because I don't have any apples or any real source of apples at the moment, but we can fix that later in this episode. Now, this newfound discovery here does kind of lend itself to what I kind of planned to do in this episode, which, I mean, if you read the title thumbnail, it should be obvious, but I'm not going to say it just yet because I need to collect resources to do that first. So, here goes the resource collection. I don't know if it's a time, and that's not going to be a time lapse. Resources. Alright, I have acquired all the resources, which did require me to do a little bit of adventuring out in the world due to the fact that I hadn't previously this season had to acquire some of these more exotic resources that aren't all that exotic, but still. Anyhow, as you may have expected from the thumbnail, I am going to be building a shop today to be selling the CBI bars as well as, I guess, the candy apples that I now have. And who knows, maybe there will be more stock for the shop in the future. But to do that, I have to go to the location where we're going to be building shops this season, he says halfway into the season. And of course, that place is Tyler's Base. See, there's a sign right here, Shopping Islands. Out this way, and this is of course where I plan to build, so let's hop into a time lapse of me building the shop right here out over in the sky behind me. Alright then, the candy shop has been constructed, as you can see. Meant to be viewed from this angle, maybe from a little ways back. Mind you, I haven't built any way to actually get over here, so just gonna have to view this in F5 mode. Yes, the CBI candy store is not yet open for business. Quite frankly, I don't have any stock or really an interior. This is what it looks like in here. Very candy stock shop-esque with the, you know, like pastel pink, white, colorful colors, that sort of thing. We're only gonna have 2 products in here for now, but yeah, I actually have to get those. But before I get on to figuring out at least how I'm getting more of the apples, I need to figure out how the patrons are gonna get over here. Alright, I've got the start of something here. As you can see, I've got an island here with path on it. Ooh, revolutionary. Yeah, I also got the bridge from the candy shop island here. Yeah, now I gotta build a bridge all the way from the portal over here. That is gonna be a little bit of a thing. I left the cobblestone down there mostly just so I could do this. Anyhow, alright, I got a bridge in. It's not necessarily a good bridge, but it is a bridge that I built. If Tyler wants to come and make this look better, he can do that. This is his base after all. But yeah, now that the bridge is in, let's work on actually getting some of the stock for the shop here. Okay, so obviously what we're gonna need to be able to get a lot of the stock, at least for the new item, is an apple farm. And I just happen to have that right here. Now I designed this a while back, and I just spent way too long flying around the creative server here trying to find this because it's so tiny. But yeah, no, this should be outside of this. Oh god, honey. Yeah, that's not an insignificant amount of honey. When I had to get like 2 blocks of honey for something else recently, that was a pain. This is a lot more than that. So, okay, side quest, build a honey farm. Yeah, I guess I'm doing that now. Alright, so the result of this side quest has been completed, I guess. Yeah, I got a bit of a honey farm here. I built it under the base because this is kind of permanent and I didn't really know where else to build it. But yeah, I got it. I found out in nature a bunch of these beehives here. And then I hooked them up to this system. We got the beehive, we got the comparator, up and looping around to the dispenser. It took me a long time to get all these bottles. Bottles are not the easiest thing to acquire. You need a lot, and I mean a lot of glass to fill all these bottles. I eventually did it though. So all these spices are filled. When the bottles fill up this crafter, obviously we get a honey block output here as well as the bottles. The honey block will be filtered out by this. Ooh, we've already actually surpassed the filter amount. Will be stored down those chests. Bottles will be sent back around to be used again. Man, this is way simpler than what we had to do in the past. 8 blocks over. Ooh, we'll have the amount we need for this farm in no time. But if this storage were to fill up, then this redstone line here will be activated, which will retract these pistons, retracting the block from behind the hives, so that the comparators won't read anything, therefore turning the farm off. Anyhow, now I just wait here for a long time, get all the honey, and then we can build us a nice little apple farm. Alright, here's what I got after AFKing for one night around this farm. Honestly, not as much as I would have hoped, but we only need 30 for this little project here, so that's a side quest well and truly complete. Oh yeah, also in order to get all those bottles, I set up a bit of a manual super smelter here. Did also realize after the fact that I didn't quite need so many bottles. I could have, for the hoppers here, I didn't need to fill all these hoppers entirely. Only the first slot needed to be filled, and then the rest of them could have been junk items. Oh well, I guess I did this. It works. Anyhow, let's get building the apple farm. Wow, that really did not take that long to build. This is a pretty simple contraption here, but there is a couple problems here. That it being a simple contraption, it is just the contraption itself. There's no log disposal, as we do have to remove at least 1 log so we can plant another sapling. There's also no way to feed more bone meal in. We just have these droppers here. Oh, and also everything that's collected, saplings, apples, whatever, that just goes into this hopper, and that currently appears to go nowhere. So, yeah, this thing currently needs a bit of extra external work, but if I fill this thing with a bunch of bone meal here, alright, like I said, if I grab a lever, I can turn this thing on, making obnoxious noises, bone meal's flowing, then I can just place a tree there, log gets pushed out, leaves get crushed, and, oh look, a sapling. Ooh, yeah, apples aren't the, most common result, but they are a result. These hoppers are actually also quite slow, so it will take a moment. I got 2 apples while testing this farm a moment ago, but also something we have to worry about then is these logs will get too long here. This isn't a tree farm per se, but I guess it does technically also farm a very inefficient amount of wood. Could also add a bone meal farm to this, but I won't do that because I have enough bones that give me bone meal as is. See, did we get any apples from that? Oh yes, we got an apple! Whoa, the farm works! Alright, all the external additions to make this farm actually function have been added. Let's start with the big and bad looking one here. This is, of course, the log disposal mechanism. We got a TNT duper here. 2 stages, just so that in case it comes hot and fast, we can get 2 TNTs in the cannon, while things are, you know, slowly being pushed out here. Moving over here, this is the bone meal system. It's pretty simple. I need to load it up with a lot more bone meal. Is it backed up at all right now? You see, I have a lot of bone meal, but I don't have a lot of bones right here. Turns out, no, I burned through a whole lot of bone meal. Okay, because I did load that up with a bunch, and then I went AFK for a while. Anyhow, then underground here, here's the storage system. So all the oak saplings are pumped right back up to the player so you can plant them again. As you can see, I got a lot from myself AFKing there for a while. All the apples and sticks are then dealt with down here. There's some sticks, and there's a few apples. Pretty good. Alright, so I just tried to AFK at this farm for a sizable period of time, and it was not very successful. Also, don't know how this minecart stopped. That's a mystery. But I had completely filled up this entire system with bone meal, and I came back a few hours later and it was all gone. I could show you the results. Got this many apples. But yeah, it's clear to me that this thing burns through bone meal ridiculously fast, which means I need a better solution for bone meal here. So I'm going to install a shulker box unloader to unload bones automatically, and then crafters to automatically craft the bone meal. Alright, here is the loader assembly here. So we have our crafters here, which are feeding into these barrels. If they have a single strength of 2, it'll shut off the crafters so we don't overcraft stuff, but there's a lot of there in there, so the time it takes to spool up the crafting, we won't run out of bone meal. And obviously we have the shulker unloader up here. Now this, I went back to Season 3 to check what I used for the bone meal crafter that I had back then for the tree farm. This was the design, but it wasn't working. After the first box got dispensed, it just obliterated all the rest of the boxes. So I've added this redstone torch system here so that hopefully it'll now work. I actually haven't had it fire yet since I've placed in this redstone torch circuit, but I guess we will soon see, as I'm going to go back to AFK and we'll see the new way in which this fails. Undoubtedly. Alright, so I just AFK'd at this farm overnight, and we somehow did not run out of bone meal that time. We did run through, let's see, that many shulker boxes of bones, though. So, yeah, that's like the entire output, or storage of my wither skeleton farm. Perhaps I should look at increasing the amount of bones that or amount of space that has to store bones, but we have a decent amount of apples now. Mind you, this one was already full when I started AFKing, and this one had some in it. But, yeah, we basically got 2 double chests of apples overnight. Pretty good, but these are still probably going to be relatively expensive in the candy store. Oh, and by the way, I took another look at the shulker unloader from Season 3. Yeah, there was, in fact, a redstone torch under the block here. I just missed it. So it turns out, no, I did not entirely build it from Season 3, and yeah, it does still work. Anyway, alright, here's the content that we are going to be stocking the shop with. Yeah, that's a lot less than I was expecting, considering how many apples I farmed here. But that's purely down to how much sugar this takes. I may have a giant sugar field in the overworld. That clearly is inadequate for this, so for now there won't be too much stock at the shop. And that also means next episode we're going to have to go make ourselves a sugarcane farm. But anyhow, let's get this to the shop and let's set up some pricing. So, you know, I'm not really doing much for an interior of the shop here, but here are the 2 products we have. We have CBI bars, which are 24 for 6 diamonds. And the candy apples, which are 10 for 8 diamonds. Yes, I know these prices are high, and that's mostly because I do not have much stock right now. When I finally get more stock, more sugar, all that sort of stuff, I will lower the prices then. But for now, this place is open for business, and now it's time to do a little bit of promotion. Alright, and this is what that promotion looks like. So we have the "It's now open" sign and some free samples. Anyway, guys, I think that's gonna have to be it for this episode. It is getting close to when I want to release it, and well, we've opened the candy store. Also next week might not happen. I'm gonna try to do an episode next week, but might not because of the 4th. But anyhow, with that, I'm gonna have to say thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Please make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe. Check out my game, which is linked in the description, and I will see you all in the next episode of Coolcraft Season 7. Bye!